Hi, it's Russ from Product Expert, and I've got myself a copy of Nectar 2, which is the vocal effects plugin from iZotope. The original one was very good, but this has some additional features, and we'll look at them in some detail in this video. When you open it, you get this startup window, and also you'll often, if you want to as well, get up the presets that you'll see, and you can just click here to load them, and then you can go through different presets. It's aimed at a number of things. Obviously, it's aimed at singers and vocalists, but it's also aimed at people who are doing vocal overdubbing, so podcasting, radio shows, film and TV. And what you have is this kind of quick start screen where at the top you have an equalizer, a compressor which can run in parallel or serial, a gate, a de-esser, saturation, a harmony section which is brand new. The pitch section is here and is its basic details, and reverb, delay, and some other effects as well. Then you can then go under the hood here and go into some detail in each one of them. And if they're grayed out like that, it means they're not on at the moment. So in this incident at the moment of a vocal, I have got it going for saturation, EQ, compressor, de-esser, and limiter. As I say, you can just turn things on and off and use them as you need to. So if I give you a quick idea of how it all works, so we'll go back into the basic section for a second.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
So as you see, we've got a compressor here, and then we could go into detail now, into the compressor. And we have actually two compressors, either working in parallel or serial mode. And they could switch the second one on there, and then we can use like a hard compressor for the first sound, and then a gentle compressor for the second one. And there's different characteristics in each compressor as well. So we've got digital, vintage, optical, and solid state. And all the usual suspects are there. We've got ratio, attack, release, threshold, peak or RMS detection, and then we've got the ability to, as I say, mix between those two different compressors if we wish to use them in that mode. Going from top to bottom, then we have pitch. So in its basic mode, you'd literally just turn it on and it would figure out what's going on in terms of the sound and start.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
And we, of course, can go into much more detail then in here. And we can choose range. Let's go back out to there.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears.
Much more natural. If we then go back out to the main window, we'd see that one.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears.
And also transpose from there as well.
Don't say you don't believe.
You wouldn't want that person singing for you, but actually turn the piano off for a second.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
Put the piano back in now.
Don't say you don't believe.
Then we have format scaling as well, which is quite common these days in format scaling, which means that it preserves the quality of the sound even when it's transposed. So if we turn that off, we can actually then make kind of chipmunk sounds if we want to use it for an effect.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears.
That's very good as well, of course, that if you took it right down here, you could get it really low and use it for some horror film.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
And also, of course, then you can actually leave it in its original position and use these to change the character of the voice even in its original tuning.
Don't say you don't believe.
Give myself a bit more of a creamy vocal.
Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
Now, there's also a suite version of this which comes with some extra plugins. One is a pitch editor, which is a manual pitch editor, and one is a breath editor. So let me show you that in action. So I'm going to turn pitch off here for a moment and come down here and turn this plugin on. And this enables us to capture this and do much more forensic editing of the audio. So we just put it in record like that, and we just play the audio.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
So we've captured that now, and we can zoom in and out of there. I can go into each note now. So for example, there's a vibrato that's quite harsh. I could come in and pull the vibrato down a bit on that note alone. You can see as well, if you want to, you can show the original pitch contour. So let's have a listen to that now.
Don't say you don't believe.
So there, if I wanted to smooth that right out, now I can stick that to correction strength and then correction speed like that and have it very, very flat. Now I'm actually turn the original pitch off. We can see the changes we're making, and now that will sound much more.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ear.
And again, here I could do the same here. I could put that on full strength and that back there. We have very, very flat notes there.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
And here I could come in here, I could grab those bits and I could change that to the C minor. Could use snap to scale.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
That's the wrong one, so we can just go in again and grab those and undo that. But instead we could choose the correction strength to be full power, very short.
Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
So as you can see, you can go in some great detail there. And we can split notes as well. We could come in and go there, and we could go split. And now those two notes are split. And we could do the kind of cool things you can do normally with these. So we could move that note separately now.
You don't believe.
And that kind of stuff. Or as you can see there, I've merged notes there now. So I can listen to that as a merge note.
And tell me what you hear.
So you got all the detail there if you want to use it. Now the next thing as well is the de-breath, which is very helpful. We can go to Audio Suite. The reason I'd use it as an Audio Suite is it induces a lot of latency because of the look-ahead processing that it's doing. So it's very useful to use it as an Audio Suite function. So let's just grab the bit of audio that we want to work with, which is there. Let's have a listen to that.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
Then what we do, we just choose
Don't
a
say
sensitivity
you
and a
don't
target.
believe. Use your ears. And
The great thing about target mode is it's far more natural. We can have gain mode where we literally will just drop them like a stone if you listen to it now.
don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
The great thing about target mode is it's just dropping the
Don't
gain rather than just killing
say
it.
you don't believe. Use your ears and
That's
tell
more
me
natural.
what you
What
hear.
you can do as well is you can just listen to the breaths and make sure it's catching those breaths properly. You can hear those breaths.
What you hear.
And so we just
Don't
choose a target
say
volume.
you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
And we just render that in place now, and we've done it, so we don't need breath anymore. So
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears.
if I decide I actually want to do that more extreme and just get it very, very clean, I can go in and go breath control. I can go gain and just turn that up a bit more. Have a listen to that again.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears.
Just do that. That's much cleaner now.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
So that's the breath editor and the pitch editor, and we go back into the main unit, and we've then got saturation, where we can add different warmth to the vocal. We've got EQ, full EQ, with all the different types of EQ that we want on there. So we can go in and we can have a listen and a look to those different types of EQ. And we can see here, got low shelf, high shelf, bell. We can change the Q size. So a fully powered EQ there. Got a de-esser, which of course is very helpful.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
And that will clean up the top end there. We've then got a limiter, which means we can limit the output volume as well as two compressors, so we can
Don't say you don't believe.
get a nice clean flat vocal for the mix.
Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
Then we've got a set of effects like distortion.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
Some nice chorusing and flanging and phasing.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear. Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear. Don't say you don't believe.
And this shred one.
Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
It's kind of great for dance effects. Let's turn that back on again.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me
Do some
what you hear.
Do some really wild stuff.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me.
And obviously much more useful for dance type music. So we've got that as well. We can use them in series or parallel. And then of course we could tie them to host sync as well, which is nice. So if we now turn on the repeats.
What you hear. Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
So you could do some really cool stuff with the vocal, and Decimate is another one, which is pretty horrendously distorted.
Don't say you don't believe.
So quite useful as an effects processor for vocals if you need to use it. Then we have a fully dedicated delay as well.
Use your ears and tell me what you.
And then we also have a dedicated reverb unit to use as well, which is based on an EMT plate. Let me play you that.
You hear. Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
And we could set the input and the output gain so we don't get any clipping. Let's pull that down a bit.
Don't say you don't believe.
Tape delay's nice.
Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
Nice and big.
Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear.
Now the really cool thing, of course, is the harmony, and I've put one in already, and what I've done is, let me show you without first. So I've put this part in, and we'll just solo that, just play that on its own.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
So I've played that part in, and then we can add an harmonizer to it. So we choose the harmony. Now, there's a number of ways it can work. What I've done is I've decided to knock out the original voice and just use it as BVs. So these are oohs and ahs. And then I can set pan and gain for it, the pitch and the delay for each part as well. So you can make it very varied. It doesn't just work as a static thing. So if I just move that out of the way. If I just play this first one, you can hear it sounds really good. Now what I'm doing is I'm controlling that. I've got the part playing here from this piano part. I'm just playing the part in. So if you choose MIDI control off, this will now just play it its own version, depending on how you want the notes to work. So you can choose the notes, the intervals that it works in. But so the MIDI control makes it really powerful, because when I turn that on, you then get this kind of effect. I have to say the sound is really good. We can vary the pitch of each part. So add a tune. We'll put some naturalness back in. The timing. natural. We can pitch correct it as well, so we can either detune it that way. Make it tight. But for BBs, I really want it just to be much more natural. And so we can place them in the stereo image. Narrow that pan. Make it mono. Then we can change individual pitch and stuff as well, so we can grab these. There's the delay of each one of them now. Very tight. Bring the pitch back in. There's a lot you can do to make it sound really authentic. And what I've also done as well, I've staggered two together, so I put a second one in with different settings. So you can build really big choirs up. And what I've also done as well, as you could see, I've drawn in volume automation to give it that kind of nice effect you'd get with a vocal. And here's one that's just straight instead. Use your ears and tell me what you hear. Don't say you don't believe. Use your ears and tell me what you hear. So there we go. It's a really great follow-up to an already great plugin. Nectar 2 is excellent value. It's packed with features, but not only features, it sounds great. All the parts are really high quality, from the EQs all the way through the compressors, the de-esses. If you go for the suite, you do get those added features of the pitch editor and also the debreather as well. And I think it's well worth checking out. There's a demo you can download, and there's some great deals going on their site at the moment to get it to a reduced upgrade price. Thumbs up, it's a brilliant vocal plugin. In fact, for vocals, it's one that you should really make sure you have in your plugin arsenal. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.